Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree?
You know that when you overestimate yourself, you're always giving yourself the highest possible chance of success.
I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke.
Most of the people who you know today, they overestimate themselves, okay? They simply said they're the best, they have a super skills, they have a superpower, they compete in different tournaments as a professional athletes, they compete in different businesses, they compete in different careers and walks of life, and they succeeded. Even though all the odds were stacked against them, most of the people didn't even have a college degree, but they still found careers in area where the college degree usually is a requirement. What this actually means? Being able to utilize self-delusion. You think that you're the best. You think that you know something that other people don't. You know that you can actually persevere failure after failure. Something that a lot of people do not understand.
Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali. Like, bro, as soon as I get paid, I have all these bills stacked up, bro, that shit wipes me clean. Like, fuck, I got no money left over.
The people who are taking the biggest risks early on in life were people without sufficient preparation or knowledge. What this means, they didn't know what they're risking. You don't really know what are you risking, and this is why people used to make poor decisions. This is why overestimating yourself only works for people who are really ready to put up the work. You may not have the experience, you may not have the odds stacked in your favor, but you're still able to put up as many efforts, as many tries, as many hours into it over and over again. You are eventually going to win, because when you try enough times, you are increasing your chances and odds for your success. You probably heard the overnight success people claiming for other people because they didn't spend the hours of work, hours of failure, hours of tries until they actually achieved and matched the results that are publicly announced. This is why self-delusion, sitting here, let's say today you want to build some mobile app, you have no coding experience, you have no knowledge, you just watch a couple of tutorials and you learn how to build a mobile app using AI. This is a big achievement. But a lot of people, regardless of how easy you can make building the app process for them, they're not gonna take the step because they know they're not coders, they're not engineers, they're not technicians, they're not tech savvy. It's also pretty boring for them, and as a matter of fact, they don't really have anyone who is an engineer. So that's pretty far away from their regular circle of interest. But this is why you have to be self-delusional. You know what? I am going to build a app in my area of interest, which could be whatever, sports, hobbies, and I'm gonna build the app like a professional engineer. I'm gonna watch tutorials, I'm gonna take notes, I'm gonna backtest. Even if there is something I cannot do by myself, I'm gonna hire somebody to fix this part, and I'm gonna make the app work perfect. I wanna make sure that the app will be better than any other app in the same industry built by engineer. Okay? On the surface, this looks like delusional. How are you gonna find time to do it? It will take you a lot of time, first of all, just to watch the tutorials, then to take notes, then to install the softwares, then to learn the actual schemas, how to connect different platforms, how to actually compute, backtest, right? You have to create different accounts. It's a system. It's like learning a completely new language. Most people will say no. They will say no for them, and they will say no for you. You're not going to be able to do it. You're delusional. You think you can do it because it sounds fun, it sounds cute. Every new business idea sounds fun until you actually start working on the business idea. And you start failing, and you start getting errors, and you start losing money because testing, especially on the AI, it will require certain funds that you can propel your idea. You have to backtest either the payment functionality or the API keys or the view generation or the the actual storage of the data, the authentication, like there's so many different elements that you want to make sure that are superior, because you're self-delusional and you believe you're going to build a extremely professional app without being an engineer. You know what's funny? If you go online, if you right here on YouTube, you try to search for people who built a currently monetizing app, people who come from completely different niche, people who were finance, people who were in athletics, people who were in whatever, hotels, hospitality business, they built an app and they're currently monetizing it. Why? Because they were self-delusional. They believed that they can actually build and be equal, not equal. They believed they could be better than all the people who spent years working in Apple as an engineer, in Google as an engineer, in Microsoft as an engineer. But if you're not self-delusional, you don't really put yourself ahead of the game. If you almost didn't have the same take, like I can be the first online provider of connections from the satellite, provide satellite internet, provide satellite connection, right? And I can have one of the biggest, the widest coverage, anyone from any point around the world, regardless of how remote, low or high it is, we have access to internet, right? Send satellites here, send the satellites there. We have to mention also that there is a drawbacks and there is a downside. And if you fail self-diluting yourself, you're falling from 50 feet, my friends. Because when you pump yourself so fucking high, you realize that you're putting yourself on probably the highest possible level in tier, and you're going head to head with the big boys, with the experienced people. And if you win, well, you're definitely gonna win big. Maybe it could be this one big bet that you won and you're set for life. But if you're wrong, if you really overestimate yourself, it's gonna be very painful. This is what Charlie Munger actually mentioned, that he didn't like the style of Elon Musk. He said, quote unquote, Mr. Musk may not always be wrong, which intended that most times people who are overestimating themselves are wrong. Why? Because you realize that when you say and you realize that you overestimate yourself, you think that you possess something that you most likely, you're certain you don't, right? It's like you're going on the field track and you're gonna run and you're gonna compete with other people. You had no preparations, right? Everyone else is like athlete, they train for like 2, 3, 4 years, and look at them. And this is the moment of self-delusion. You can think that, I am natural born talent. I don't need to train, I don't need to prepare. I can even run with jeans and I'm gonna smoke these people. The self-delusion is a real key of unlocking different results, good or bad, but definitely different. Because I run the same structure of data between people who are realists, people who are pessimists, people who are optimists, and people who are who are over-delusional. So the people who are realists, they have capped results. They are realists, they said, okay, I can achieve up to here and that's it. Nothing above, it's my territory. The pessimists, they're going halfway through, they go even beneath, they always assume that they're going to be last or second to the last. They never achieve anything in life, they usually work. These are the people who are like, find one job after university and they work throughout their entire life in the same job because they think that no one else will hire them. That's why they never quit or leave. And of course, the optimists, like I said, they're doing a little bit better, but still mentally, they kind of put the limits on themselves, not on the achievements. They said, no, my IQ, it's at max. I cannot really even think about something more. That is my place. That's my spot. And the people who are optimistic, delusional about themselves, about their achievements, these are the people who are actually go beyond and above. And don't think that when they achieve something crazy, they're not surprised. They're surprised from themselves, but they're not showing it. You don't think Elon Musk was surprised when he actually succeeded and shipped Tesla? He was surprised. He was like, damn. You don't think that he was surprised when the actual Falcon, the first Falcon rocket was successfully launched and came back to Port Canaveral, he was not shocked. He was shocked. He was, oh man, wow, this actually worked. Crazy, right? He was not like, oh yeah, next one. No, because these things are not happening on a common basis. These things were not successfully achieved by people with experience, people who work at NASA, people who work at Boeing, people who are rocket science, rocket engineers, etc., rocket designers. No one of these people even thought that this is possible.
Okay, so when exactly did middle class just become pure survival mode? I'm talking like the hunter-gatherer stage of humanity. Because think about it like this, just one mistake, one minute mistake away from sleeping under a bridge.
The quiet way how many people are actually losing their buying power and effectively experiencing disinflationary pricing wherever they go only happens when they try to pay for something, right? The same thing, you don't understand how little you earn until you actually see your paycheck. You see all the deductions, you see all the taxes, right? The quiet way people going broke. And again, it has been happening. This is not a new thing. The thing is that now the escalation or the majority of the issues for people are becoming the money issue, right? Before it has always been like money issue plus something else, like money issue plus something else. Now it's money issue plus money issue. And as you can see, a lot of these people are experiencing almost the same problems. It always comes down from the economic standpoint, where the economy doesn't really reward the people who are working the hardest, or the people who have consistently worked at the same place, putting the same effort, showing up every single day. The idea here is that the economy currently is rewarding innovation, not stagnation.
Can someone please tell me that things are going to get better for the economy, for the world? Just someone please tell me that things are going to get better, bro, because I work from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 2 jobs, and I'm just sitting on my lunch on my second job, and dude, I just can't do this shit anymore. I told myself I would never work a second job again earlier this year, but you know, bills are bills. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But bro, I can't keep doing this shit. I'm tired, like everyone else.
I spent about an hour talking to my grandmother last night. She's 90 years old, and she's actually considering selling her home and her property because that's the country we live in right now. She's 90 years old, and she has to sell everything that she's ever earned. That's the country we live in right now. My grandfather was retired from the military. She has her Social Security. They both worked their whole lives, and she can't afford to live anymore. 90 years old. Put money away, did all the things, and now she has to be put in a position where she has to sell her home.
Even if the prices go lower, the wages will not go up. Even if people are rehired, the people who are fired, or at least part of them, they're still going to struggle because the prices will not go lower and the wages will not go up. Every single year, when the prices multiple times per year on certain items go up, your salary doesn't go up, doesn't catch up with the pace of the prices. And this gap has always been the rule. But the prices haven't skyrocketed this high, plus the devaluation or the buying power of your money hasn't gone down that drastically, that substantially as we've seen for the last couple of years. Considering that almost a quarter of all the money in circulation in US dollars have been printed throughout the virus situation, through the distribution of stimulus checks or any of the relief programs.
Out there is wondering how Americans are doing poorly. We are doing poorly. Yesterday, I woke up to an email from my landlord saying, hey, I'm raising your rent. Why? No reason. We already pay all of the utilities ourselves. That is not included in the rent. So we pay for electricity, and we pay for water, and we pay for natural gas to heat our home. And that bill in particular has skyrocketed this year. Every single month this winter, it was over $600. And we do not turn the heat on. We just turn it so that we can survive. We do not turn it above like 60. So we're freezing in the house all winter. Oh, and also I woke up this morning to an email from my health insurance being like, thanks for your payment. It was deducted automatically, except this time the payment was $400 more than it was last month. Sorry? what's going on? So I called the health insurance company and I was like, why did this happen? And they said, oh, well, the tax premium expired. And I said, tell me why that happened. Is that because of federal budget cuts? Is that because of the New York State budget? Where did that come from? And they said, we don't know. You have to call the New York State Department of Health.
I am so sick of how expensive it is to just live. Before I left work, I had to make sure I bought tickets to my kids' musical for school. And I'm going both nights, and then my parents and my husband's parents are going one night, and then we're going as a family one night. So I just paid for those tickets for all those tickets all together, it was like $62 or something like that, 62. And then I left work, I got my kids to school, I had to get gas. I was on E. My gas light was on. I had busy like for the rest of the evening after I wake up after sleeping, so I was like, let me just do it. It just cost $78 to fill my tank. I do have a like a mid-size SUV. I have a Chevy Traverse. But literally before this day has even started, I have now spent $140. How the freak do you sustain life anymore? I don't know. It's so frustrating how expensive everything is. It's like every time you turn around, there's like something else to pay for, and I know that's being an adult, and I know that's life. But it's so frustrating.
So you need to understand that when the velocity of money supply outnumbers the actual products, goods, and services produced from the consumers, well, then there is a natural latency in which inflation will catch up with and essentially fill up the gap. There's no space left behind. And like I mentioned, even if now a lot of businesses are showing up, they extend the working hours. They wanna, try to recoup the missed revenue by simply not having enough clients. People don't have enough spending power. They still cannot catch up with the previous pace. You see businesses compare month to month. The sales are down. They're not comparing quarter to quarter. They're not comparing year to date. Because the further back in time you go, the bigger the difference of your revenue or earnings actually comes to the end, right? You realize that you was making personally, or your business was making much more money, much easier throughout the virus situation years, right? And the main concept that you will see is that all these people, they want to work. They're not lazy. They want to work. They want to, be given a chance at least to, use their skills, use their time in exchange for money. But the problem is that the market currently prioritize technological advancements, prioritize AI to get the job done. And this is, no one knows for how long it is going to be. It might end up being forever. It might end up being the new standard. But these people, unfortunately, they have to figure it out the way to actually exchange their current skills and knowledge base with the skills and knowledge base about AI, either working alongside of the AI, improving the AI, or maybe starting their own business. We have seen plenty of stories, people who without any prior technological background being able to utilize AI for either improving their own personal or professional lives. So I truly believe that these people will catch up with, because if you wait for the economy to fix itself or fix your life, you're gonna be waiting forever, unfortunately.